This is about the people, sir, right? Right? That was your motto, about the people. Then make it about the people, not your fucking self. I want to give a shout out to FarmHer Nancy. FarmHer Nancy hooked me up. I wanted to buy some cows because, I said I need, I want at least 10 cows before the end of the year. So, FarmHer Nancy, thank you, appreciate you. Ooh, see, that's how you do business. Right? FarmHer Nancy didn't ask for nothing in return. I said, hey, do you know anybody who sell cows? Man, 5 minutes later, sent me a number. Said, call her now. Now that lady's gonna help me with my whole product line and producing line, so I can get into, the cow business.
You niggas gotta pay for this shit.
Yeah, you know how the gangsters do. Yeah, still ride around with the crew.
Yeah, I'm an OG gangster, just like Frank. The money that I got from your bitch in my bank. You niggas really fake, acting like hoes. Mad cause the bitch chose me on my phone. Open up the doors, let down the top. Hating ass niggas keep talking to the cop. Trick, I'm a pimp, go ask Rachel. The niggas say I got that blow just like Rachel. You haters ungrateful, I'm grateful hating you. Fuck the 4-5, I'ma let rock create you. Maybe you, baby blue 1982. I was in the drop L dog, 7 deuce, heaven deuce, screw, Drew, Shaka Zulu coming down, running around fucking town Austin. So much smoke in the air, I'm coughing. I don't give a fuck about you niggas, I'm ballin'. Coming down, crawling.
Yeah. Okay. This morning we got 4 minutes till we live. I'm in good spirits today. I got on my comfort blanket. Shout out, moms. Yeah. I'm in the studio, y'all, this morning with a good friend. I actually brought y'all a guest. Yeah. Y'all ain't ready. I think she should be okay with no headphones, right?
Oh yeah, because all we need to hear is you and I hear what's going across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once I start queuing music up, then you can be like, okay,
yeah,
I need to wrap that up.
All right.
Yeah. No, should be good without headphones.
Good morning, y'all.
Yeah. But if I do this, that means pull into the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not gonna hear you from way back there, so you might want to actually pull it a little bit closer to you. Oh, okay. Or you can come closer to it, yeah.
All right.
However you see fit.
Like I have a tendency to drift anyways. My volume, you gotta let me know if my volume's okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll also adjust your volume. But also, if you ever see me do this, I'll let you know that's 5 minutes, 4, 3. If I start doing this, that means rabbit.
We live. Am I live? I can't even.
This means we got a phoner.
I hope so. I tagged everybody.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna be able to take phone calls, take questions.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we taking phone calls. Call in 512-836-2887. It's your girl FarmHer Nancy. This morning we are here for the Iron Sharpens Iron radio show.
Since she doesn't have headphones, you're gonna have to relay the question back to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's not gonna be able to hear the. Or I might be able to. Well, I'll figure something out. Yeah. Okay. Actually, you're gonna have to relay the question to her.
Okay, that's fine. We tap in. Good morning.
2 minutes.
They're working on the website. Just so you know, I'm not BSing about the organization, the consortium of ag businesses.
Yeah.
Where we could really pull something good.
Girl, you gonna tell me good morning. The birds are chirping and chirping and chirping. Good morning to you.
Are the people actually on there?
Yep. Wake up. We got a minute and 30 seconds before we live on the air. 88.7 KAZI, the Iron Sharpens Iron radio show. We outside. So y'all, we getting ready to go live with the Iron Sharpens Iron radio show. I'm always excited to be here with you guys. Make sure you share. Go ahead and drop your comments down in the chat. Make sure you to subscribe to me on YouTube, Nancy Farm Fancy. Go follow my social medias because the conversation continues when we leave the radio station.
Most definitely.
30 seconds.
Let's see. 30 seconds,
We about to go live.
All right, stand by. All right. Stand by. Five, 4, 3, 2.
Good morning, and you are here this morning with FarmHer Nancy on the Iron Sharpens Iron radio show on another beautiful Thursday morning. I'm so excited to be here with you guys yet again. We continue on in our series of talks and conversations surrounding agriculture, Black agriculture right here in our local Austin, Travis County community. You guys, last week, we talked about so many things. We were able to get across some really good information as far as what is a farm and what that looks like within the community. We discovered that the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, only requires a farm to grow $1,000 worth of produce a year to be designated as such. And so we want to continue that conversation and see where we can get more people to get involved in Black agriculture. You know, for myself, FarmHer Nancy here in Austin, Texas, as a small scale grower, I've gone through so many different things and so many different obstacles and faces of oppression as I've tried to bring the concept and the ideas surrounding Black agriculture right here to our local city council and different members of Black leadership. However, we always find ourselves at a crossroads. So today I actually brought a friend to discuss these things with us. I brought an amazing person here, another female farmer, another Black female farmer and rancher, Miss Deidre Steens from Luling. She's a 4th generation farmer and rancher, and I'm so glad to have you here with us today, Deidre. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much, Tiffany, for having me here. This is really awesome.
Thank you for coming. So I brought you here because last week we talked with the people just about Black agriculture and agribusinesses and what that means and what that looks like. And I want you to just kind of tell us who you are and tell us some things about your agribusiness and what that looks like for you in a rural community trying to connect with urban spaces like here in Austin, Texas.
Okay, well, that was a great question. So my name is Deidre Steens. I'm a resident of neighboring Caldwell County. So I'm just outside of Luling, Texas, actually, and I live and work on our family farm and ranch. My grandparents on both my parents' side were actually farmers and ranchers, you know, but it looked very different back then.
Right.
You know, but that's where I come from, you know, in a little town called Kingsbury.
Okay.
So both my parents are still active in agriculture, really my family. I mean, it's a legacy for us, and we've been privileged to do our best at trying to keep it going.
Right, and it's so amazing to have history like that right here in our local areas. The history that we can dive into and talk about. And we want you guys to get engaged and talk with us about it as well. Remember to call us this morning at 512-836-2887. We want you guys to be a part of the conversation, right? Because we want to introduce you to other growers and producers, especially our large scale producers that can support us in the times of emergencies and can help us get the resources that we need in our small communities, right? So I want to talk about and get into some of the things you may have encountered as a Black rancher when it comes to working with and dealing with organizations and the politics that can go on when you're trying to get funding or you're trying to bring forward programs. How do partnerships work? What does that look like for you? How has your experience been in partnering with these grassroots-led organizations?
Sure. Well, I think, my learning curve really started when I made the transition, or right before I made the transition from the classroom to doing this full time, farming and ranching full time. Really researching programs and agencies that lent, assistance to farmers in our predicament. But through engaging with, say, the Farm Service Agency, which happens to be in every county across the state of Texas, right? I learned that they have reporting programs for producers. Okay. And these are programs where, I like to keep it simple, but they're not always simple. I like to say that it's an exchange for information, and for your participation, you could be compensated. Right? You're going to give them information on your crops. You're going to fill out acreage reporting, and they take that information and then publish reports, using our data that we provide. So it was really looking at agriculture as a different way that, we'd looked at it before. Kind of having that backside to it, a need to have some technical assistance, because these programs aren't really, they're not in our face. We got to go looking for them sometimes. And then when we engage, we often find that there's challenges. There are,
obstacles in our way, and that's something that I've talked about before, right? When we look at how do we work with these organizations. And last week I spoke about a small organization, that is grassroots led, and the African American Leadership Institute, but they're supposed to be rooted in history. And so I am participating because I want to see your process. I want to see what it is that makes you have that foundation to where you can teach me about leadership. As a Black farmer, are you qualified to say that I'm able to hold that space within Black agriculture? And to me, I don't believe they do, but I'm okay with participating, because we want to open up these conversations, and we want to bring Black farmers like yourself and myself to the table to start really discussing this, because it's important, right? We're talking about food, you guys. So we want you to call in and talk about food with us. Remember to call us here at 512-836-2887. So when we look at the organizations and how it can be a little bit difficult to find our space and our place, especially when it comes to funding, what has your experience been with gaining access to the funds that you need to run your programs and your initiatives that you would like to work on outside of just ranching and farming?
Okay. So,
and also, I'm sorry, what are those initiatives? Do you mind sharing any of those with us?
Of our initiatives. So yes, again, after I made that transition, I noticed the need to continue doing outreach work. Right. And the type of outreach work, being that it was dealing with federal programs, I said, okay, to add a layer of protection to this work, I needed to have a corporate structure, because calling people up and finding out and having a referral-based process, there were a lot of people that didn't know about these programs. And so, I'm kind of answering your other question at the same time. helping producers gain access to having a farm number so that they can participate in USDA reporting programs.
Right.
A lot of my producers actually would receive a payment, a sizable payment, and they'd never gotten a payment before, but they'd never had a farm number before. So yes, the USDA Farm Service Agency program participation can assist you in the fact that you're going to exchange information to them, and they can, pay you for that through programs like the Livestock Forage Program. When we have droughts, it's for cattle. And as far as working with other organizations, I just say going beyond working directly with individual producers and organizations. It's a challenging space,
right?
Because most of us farmers have our, we know what we need, or our needs are, and nobody's out here playing games. We don't have time to play games.
We feeding people.
But it's expensive. There are a lot of expense in farming that people don't really think about.
Right.
A big topic right now, a lot of people are wanting to transition from urban spaces to rural farm spaces, which I think is great, especially if you have property that you've inherited, or you have property, you have access to property, right? Where you can go and get started. Sometimes we just want to make that jump, but there's a lot to be considered before you just jump into something. And I think Farmer C, who is the CEO of Green Heifer Farms in Liberty, North Carolina.
Yes.
She has a great podcast or show that she's on. I recommend if people check it out. If you're looking to transition just from an urban space to agriculture, take these things into consideration.
That's amazing. And so before we go to break, we most definitely want to remind everybody that this is a conversation about food, right? We're here with a wonderful, amazing friend of mine, farmer and rancher, Deidre Steens, and we're just having a conversation about what it looks like when we're, as farmers and ranchers, going out into our communities to try and give back, work on our initiatives, and at the same time, find the space to bring awareness to some of the issues that we face, especially when it comes to oppression and having a fight against a lot of the systems and the powers that be. So I think that's definitely one of the ways that we met. We were kind of looking at things, and seeing you on a national level working on USDA things out in Washington, and then myself being so hyper local here in Austin, our paths just eventually crossed. And so we definitely want to talk about that when it comes to how we have to put our boots on the ground, our literal boots on the ground. We have to step away from our farms, and we have to go into communities, whether it's our counties or our states, or even on those federal levels, and we have to fight and use our voices to bring awareness to Black agriculture, right? So tell us, where are some of the places you've gone? Where have you traveled? What spaces have you been in to kind of shed a light on the things that you're going through as a Black farmer and being in a disadvantaged situation just before we head off to break?
Some of the spaces I've been in, last year in 2021, the beginning of the year, I spent a lot of time working with the USDA program, the leadership program, I guess in the outreach office. And
was that here locally with any of our local, like?
No, that was in Washington.
Washington, okay.
Right, so working with the National Outreach Office, making plans on how they were going to utilize the American Rescue Funds allocated to agriculture programs. So in one of those, my contributions were the fact that I had been doing outreach in Central and South Texas for 4.5 years and could bring actual credible data and experiences and whatnot. I might share it from a minority business owner perspective, working with the Farm Service Agency to give them program access, right, for producers. And
Right. Okay, so we most definitely want to pick up there when we come back from break. You guys, 512-836-2887 is the number. Call me. It's Iron Sharpen Iron with FarmHer Nancy. Oh yeah, what up? We in this thing. We running it. It's going. We got a little mini break. That's good. That was so good.
Yes, it was.
Yes. So when we come back, I wanna just start leading into what we were talking about. And we can just kind of, and I'll just kind of stay on that same track, like as far as what spaces have you been in, locally in Austin. Anybody?
She was trying to call us there or what?
No, but she called in last time, and I had to talk to AJ. Like,
The last part goes so
she's on
fast.
vacation.
It just
She's on
went
vacation.
by.
How long was
She can
that?
show up and do the show.
10 minutes?
You know,
15
I understand she wants time, but
It's
I'll give her tickets.
35 already. It feel like it go by so quick, right?
I have
Okay,
so
you
many
guys.
things to talk about with you.
We're so
30
glad. I
seconds.
know we have so much to talk about. You're gonna have to come back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta let them know. We have to let them know. We have to let y'all know
I have
right
an
now.
event June 4th also at the farm at a ranch.
We're gonna have to bring the kids out. I'm gonna see if I can get the football team to come out. Bring them boys out there to put in some work.
I have to say happy birthday.
Don't talk about my yes, most definitely do that. We're gonna leave time for that. This my comfort blanket. Y'all don't be hating on me. I'm out here being comfortable.
If your radio's not tuned into KAZI, then
Go.
your
Stay
radio
by.
really isn't on.
Yeah. This is about the size of my office.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to Iron Sharpens Iron. I'm your host, FarmHer Nancy, sitting in for your regular host, Latrice Cook, while she is out on vacation. We want to send her wonderful sunny wishes and all of those beautiful hugs and love while we're here in the studio today with our friend Deidre Steens, farmer and rancher from the Luling area. Deidre, I'm so glad that you joined us today. We definitely want to get back into the conversation, but we want you guys to give us a call as well. The number is 512-836-2887. So we were talking about you working with people in Washington, D.C. and going there and getting initiatives set up and just building the framework, right? Building a foundation to where you can implement ideas and initiatives that support your community, your rural community, and also the local or urban community that's closest to you. With us being here in Central Texas, the greater Central Texas area, and especially Travis County, how have you been able to work with local grassroots organizations, maybe here in Austin, Texas? What bridges have you been able to build, or what relationships have you been able to build with our local organizations?
Okay. Yeah, so first of all, I want to give a shout out, if I can, give a birthday shout out to my mom. Today's her birthday.
Okay, happy
Yes.
birthday, Mom. Happy birthday.
And shout out to all my family I see are listening from the Bay Area, San Antonio, and Luling, Lockhart area. So thank y'all for tuning in.
Definitely. And before we get into that question I asked you, we have a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. How can we help you? I don't even know why I said that, but good morning.
Yeah. I'm listening to you from, is this FarmHer Nancy?
Yes, this is FarmHer Nancy.
Okay, I am one of those people who were going at the transition. I inherited a little property down in South Georgia in my hometown, and I'm trying to find some way to make it productive, to make it bigger than what it is. What I have right now is a backyard garden, and I want to get some input.
Okay, most definitely. We can definitely help you with that. What is there something Thank you for calling, and we can most definitely talk about that. What is some things that you think he should do in working with that transition, now that we know he has a small backyard gardening and he's looking into using inputs to scale up and transition?
Sure. I think it's a, I think it's a great question, and that's another thing, that Black Gold Resourcing we do is work with producers to identify and implement strategies to make their properties productive again. It doesn't matter if they've been sitting dormant. Doesn't matter if you don't know where they are. We engage with you and work with you, go over your deeds, locate your property boundaries, and if we can't find that, have not had a legal survey done, I highly suggest everyone have a legal survey done, because they're legal instruments. A deed is good, but that's like having a will.
Right.
Trust is better, right?
Okay.
So just, we want to work with you from the ground up, and if it means going out to your property in Georgia and, looking at that, reviewing that, but even thinking about collaborative opportunities and partnerships with someone in Georgia that might be looking for a space to grow their crops. You partner with them and then just work out the logistics issue to get that to your local market here.
Right.
So no, I don't see things as too big or too small. I feel like, that's one of my strengths.
We want to get into action, yes. And so that's why I brought you here, because I follow you, right? And I know that you have that experience and expertise when it comes to implementation and being in operation. So I most definitely appreciate you for that. We also have another caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with FarmHer Nancy. What's going on?
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, fellow farmer ladies. Man,
good morning.
I just wanted to say, keep up the good work for both of you. My husband and I are making that transition. We actually come from agricultural families, and I'm currently in Austin, but we have had access gratefully, because land in this area, it comes at a very steep premium, and it's intentional. But we have bought some land out in Lockhart and are making that transition back to a fully, at least self-sustaining small farm, and for our family. And what you just spoke to, being able to make some allotments in our property for other people, especially people of color, to really get back to those roots and really learn how to support their families and grow businesses if that's what they wish to, out of an agricultural base. Being land steward is very important to us, and we know how, if it wasn't important, we would have gotten our 40 acres in a mule, but they kept that land.
Definitely.
Absolutely,
and thank you so much for calling. What is your name?
I'm sorry, my name is Leslie, and I'm actually a food apartheid activist and holistic coach here in Austin.
Okay, so thank you so much. I want to get your information, Leslie, so please call back later and leave it here at the station so we can connect, because that's what we want to do. So thank you for calling. We want to build, we want to build. And that leads us back to what I asked about how you working with grassroots organizations or building other partnerships here in Austin, and what that experience has been like for you.
Sure. Well, I'm just naturally, I tend to focus on getting things done. So working with other organizations here has, it's been an experience. I've had an opportunity to do that, even with the local charter school. I can't say that, I think that sometimes these organizations mean well.
Right.
They have the capacity and the people to write the larger grants. They write, the sizable grants and get the monies. It just does not always present itself in a way that is attainable for the true grassroots organizations doing the work.
Right.
The boots
in
on
real
the
life,
grounds.
though.
In real life, yes, they'll look and say, "Oh yeah, we have 7 organizations in Travis County that we funded USDA grants to for agriculture programs."
Right.
Okay, but
Where?
What does that translate to? Where can we see that in the community? Where are these community gardens?
Right,
okay,
because they
that we
definitely
say
haven't
we're
paid
doing?
Farmer Nancy.
Where are the community gardens? Where are the agriculture programs?
Right.
Right. And you know, I like to say, hey, I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be some culpability. There's program reporting attached to
especially
that.
when you're doing the work. You know, when you've done the work and you have the experience. I would like to see that most definitely you be able to share what Black Gold Resources has to offer, especially here in our communities. We do have another caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with Farmer Nancy.
Hi, my name is Denise. I first want to thank you, ladies, for bringing this topic to light and discussing it with the community. My question is, and you guys probably already mentioned this, but I tuned in late. If you don't own any land, I'm trying to see where should I start if I do want to get into agriculture and farming.
Thank you so much for your question. So do you want to answer that, Deidre, or do you want me to answer it?
Go ahead. I mean, you do this too.
Okay. So yes, thank you for calling. So for myself, what I did was I found a website that shared Earth. And you just kind of look out into your community, you know, and see and ask if anyone has a small backyard or a large backyard that they're not using, or maybe there's a vacant lot, which is what I did. And I just approached the property owner. It was a private owner, and she was willing and she was interested in having produce being grown in her space, a beautiful garden, right? Because this is regenerating our soil, right? So we want to regenerate the soil, revitalize our communities. And so the best way to do that, if you aren't able to acquire or gain access to land, is to just ask your neighbor next door. You know, I see your backyard needs tending to. Would you mind me putting in a couple of rows of vegetables? And we can work out something. You know, that's as simple as we can get started. That's community based, right? So that's where I got started, and I would suggest anybody else get started the same way. And I really appreciate Deidre for coming and spending her time with us today in the studio. We most definitely want to have her come back and visit us. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we have to go and head out of the studio this morning? It goes by so fast, right?
Really
We could really talk for so long. Is there anything else that you have for us today?
I would just like to share that I heard the caller before mention that she's a transitioning farmer and moving actually to Lockhart, which is it's our county seat. So I'm actually doing a project with the Small Producers Initiative at Texas State University on June the 4th. We'll be at our ranch. And the topic is conscious conservation through cover cropping. So when we talk green initiatives, cover cropping is a big initiative.
Yes, I love
right?
to
Because it ties into soil remediation and recovery. It ties into remineralization of your soils, and then at the same time, for a lot, as a cattle rancher, it's additional forage. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll have crops that people can actually see, everything from sun hemp to Balanza clover.
That is so amazing, and I appreciate you. Yes, check it out. You guys, check it out. We are running out of time. I got to wrap this up. Remember to follow me across all social media, Nancy Farm Fancy, Diamond Cobb Garden Farm, because we want to connect with you. And always remember that your success is important to us. And for information, if you need support with incarceration or anything in that area, please remember to contact the Mail Center at 512-473-2525. It is Farmer Nancy with another amazing day, and we will see you guys next week at 9:30 a.m. See you later. Y'all, I was still live over here. I swiped down on my camera and turned y'all off because I was out. Y'all see, I signed off. I even signed off on y'all. We need a land app where folks can post the land they have to offer for crops. That's a fact. I'm so glad y'all was here to watch me today.
You'll pick up on that because once they answer a question, they'll just say thank you and get them off the line so they'll continue to run on.
Yep, because we had some good times today. Oh man, ooh, that was great. We're so glad you came to visit us, you guys. I'm gonna post this video if you want to rewatch it on my YouTube channel. Please, please, please don't forget to support. And I'm gonna see y'all next week.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's FarmHer Nancy. See you later.
She shows up in